Welcome in, boys and girls, to Outkick, the show. We have many topics to get to. An absolute loaded show. Want to say off the jump, remember that Outkick, the show, is presented by sportsbookreview.com. Go to sportsbookreview.com for all of your latest gambling needs associated with the Stanley Cup Finals, Stanley Cup playoffs, which will begin tomorrow. All right, everybody get out there. Make sure that you get the best possible number on the market. Get out there and go check out sportsbookreview.com for the best possible numbers you can find anywhere on the internet. That's sportsbookreview.com. Now, I want to start off the show today with a update. I need some update music. You can hear it in your head. Breaking news sounder. AM Woke Center on ESPN has returned for its second week. They broke the glass and had to talk about Michael Jordan versus LeBron James on day 6, which is a new low for any national television show that is debuting ever. Day 6, they broke the glass. It did not work. Ratings down 11% off of the debut episode. That, my friends, is disaster incarnate. This is going to be a colossal failure of a week for ESPN because they don't have the masters to rescue their ratings at the end of the week. It's going to be ugly. I'm telling you right now. I'm rubbing my hands together in gleeful anticipation. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. We've got a loaded show for you today. A ton of different topics. We're going to get to Outkick the weekend here momentarily, but first, we're going to talk about Donald Trump's lawyer and the raid, and I'm going to analyze impeachment for you. Shea Patterson trying to get eligible at Michigan. Ole Miss is fighting it. What's the story there? What's the risk? What's the reward? What's the likely outcome? Mark Zuckerberg is testifying before the Senate as we speak. He is doing so with the worst haircut in the history of humanity. I'll tell you why all of Facebook's PR team has to be fired on the spot for allowing this haircut to happen. And frankly, hate to get involved in other people's relationships, but I think Mark Zuckerberg may need to get a divorce from his wife for allowing him to go out in public with this haircut. We will break it down. Colin Kaepernick. I didn't realize this, I think because I was drunk and hungover in Las Vegas, but evidently he's been showing up for depositions of NFL owners in ridiculous t-shirts. He showed up for the Houston Texans ownership's meeting in a Kunta Kinte t-shirt. He showed up in a modern slavery t-shirt before he did his interview with the Baltimore Ravens before their deposition. This is all real. I can't even believe it. NFL number 1 pick odds are out from our friends at sportsbookreview.com. We will get to it. And a kid in Texas wore an I'm Loving It shirt. Unfortunately, it was not the Golden Arches of McDonald's. It was a stripper in high heels, and he was loving her golden triangle, perhaps. And we will discuss the parental responsibility here for letting your kid, an 8th grader, roll into school in an I'm Loving strippers t-shirt, and I'm loving in particular their vaginas. All of that and more coming to you here on Outkick the coverage today. But first, I want to tell you, we are going to have our first ever Outkick the weekend in Las Vegas. It is going to be in August. It is going to be at a hotel that remains unnamed because I have to sign the contract for the event. But there are only 2 ways you can guarantee yourself the ability to come. 1, be an Outkick VIP member. Go to Outkick.com right now. If you sign up for Outkick VIP, you will save money. If this is a trip that you want to take, if you want to be there, if you sign up for Outkick VIP, you will save money. It will be cheaper for you to be an Outkick VIP member than to pay the rack rate. So you guarantee yourself and you can sign up and you'll be good to go. Go sign up for Outkick VIP. Or my friends at the Home Loan Expert, for the month of April, if you close a mortgage or get refied or get pre-qualified, if you basically let my guy Ryan Kelly take care of you, at thehomeloanexpert.com. At thehomeloanexpert.com, you will be hooked up. And by the way, thehomeloanexpert.com. I just happened to look over and somebody's complaining about how hot it is in Vegas in August. That's why they have pools, knucklehead. That's so girls don't wear any clothes. That's the best time to be in Las Vegas. If you're arguing otherwise, you are a total pussy. The best time to be in Las Vegas is when it's hot, when girls aren't wearing clothes, when all the craziness comes out. Get the fuck out of here with it's too hot to be in Las Vegas. That's when you go to the pools. That's when you go to the pool party. That's when you stand underneath the misters and let this glorious body be slowly misted in the hot Vegas sun. Plus, it's a dry heat. It's not even that hot in the grand scheme of things. 120 in Vegas is like 95 in the South. I'm not even kidding about this. You tell me that I can be somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Alabama and Mississippi, and it can be 97 degrees without a breeze anywhere, so much humidity that you're just dripping sweat the moment you walk out, the entire state of Florida, the entire South, or I can be in the dry heat of Las Vegas. Guess where I'm going to pick? The dry heat of Las Vegas. So quit your bitching. It's going to be an incredible weekend. The only way you can get in, be an Outkick VIP member, or go close a mortgage at the Home Loan Expert in the month of April, and I will give you a free weekend in Las Vegas. All of that still to come. Let's talk Trump. All right, here's the deal. I want to make this crystal clear because I feel like we're going to continue to be on this road for the next several months of, oh my God, what happened with Trump? Did he pay Stormy Daniels not to talk? Did he know about what his lawyer did? Here's the truth. It doesn't matter. I want you to remember these three words. I want you to say them over and over again. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you think he violated Federal Election Commission rules, you pussy. Nobody actually cares about that. Here is the precedent that we have set, okay? When it comes to sex, the President of the United States can take a cigar and shove it in his intern's pussy, and then pull it out and put it in his mouth and smoke it and say it tastes great, and he doesn't get impeached. And then he can lie about it under oath, and he still doesn't get impeached. A motherfucker can sit at a desk in the Oval Office, he can take a cigar, he can shove it in an intern's pussy, and then he can smoke it and lie about it under oath, and he still gets to remain president. Okay? That happened. That is the precedent that we set in 1997 and 1998. That is historical fact. All right? All of that happened. I loved Bill Clinton. I was in college at the time. I went to some of the impeachment proceedings. Okay? That is the truth. Whether or not Donald Trump had sex 12 years ago with a porn star is not an impeachable offense. So I don't care about any of this stuff. Donald Trump could have bent a porn star over the Oval Office desk and railed her raw dog from behind, and then he could lie about it under oath during an investigation, and it still wouldn't be an impeachable offense under existing precedent when it comes to our country. Precedents matter. And so everybody out there like, well, what about the FEC violations? What about the Federal Election Commission? What about the $130,000? You all sound like squealing pussies when you say it. That's what you sound like in my ears when you make that argument. The truth of the matter is this. Impeachment is governed by precedent. And the precedent that we set 20 years ago was you can bang an intern in the Oval Office and you can lie about it under oath, and you can remain president. So, if you do not like Donald Trump, and I know many of you do not like Donald Trump, here's what you can do under the Constitution. You can beat him in 2020. You can run a candidate who is capable of beating Donald Trump, who is not going to lose 38 states to him, who is not going to lose Wisconsin and Michigan and Ohio, and all of these other toss-up states that no Republican ever wins, and you can beat him in 2020. That's what you have to do. That's the way our constitutional democracy works. That is the truth. So all this wrangling and all this argument and all this talk out there about, oh my God, what did they find when they raided this lawyer's office? Nobody cares. It ain't going to be impeachment worthy. We have set that precedent. I was there. I was in college at the time. I went and watched the actual impeachment proceedings. I read everything about the impeachment. I have read dozens of leather-bound books about impeachable offenses in the United States. And guess what? What Donald Trump is accused of being involved in is not an impeachable offense. Moreover, a Republican Congress and a Republican Senate is not going to impeach him over this. It's not going to happen. Now, maybe if suddenly the Democrats roll in and end up with 60 votes in the Senate and decide that they are going to do this, it's going to be a bad precedent to set. Because effectively, the precedent that you are going to set is the idea that you can go back over anybody who has ever been elected president, their sexual history, and that can disqualify them from being elected president. I think that's insane. I think it's insane whether you're a guy or whether you're a girl to go back and review the consensual sexual history of any political candidate. I think it's insane. I didn't think that Bill Clinton should be impeached. I didn't think that Kenneth Starr's investigation, which somehow spiraled out of Whitewater, into whether or not Bill Clinton had had an affair with an intern. I didn't care about that then. I don't care about it now. Who you sleep with is your own private business. It's between you and your wife and your family. It is not an impeachable offense. And we made the right decision back in 1997 and 98 when we went through this whole thing, 98, 99, whatever it was. And in fact, if you remember, Bill Clinton was a twice elected president. The reason why Republicans went after Bill Clinton's sex life was because they couldn't beat him at the polls. That's the truth. And Donald Trump is not the kind of guy who was faithful for his wife. This is not going to surprise us. It didn't really surprise us that Bill Clinton was sleeping with people other than Hillary Clinton. And it shouldn't really surprise you that a 3-time married guy has not always been faithful to his wives. Unless your first 2 wives died, I would bet that there's not a single man out there who has had 3 wives that has been faithful to all 3 of them. You don't end up with 3 wives because you're an incredibly faithful husband. Unless maybe you have awful luck and your first 2 wives die. I think the number of men out there who have been married 3 times and have living wives that are all still alive and have been faithful to all of those wives is virtually 0. So I want all of you out there watching this show right now to understand that this is all a sideshow, that it doesn't matter, that Donald Trump is not going to get impeached over these things. All right? That's the truth. And that if Democrats are not careful, they are actually playing into Donald Trump's hands. Donald Trump's favorability ratings, this is fascinating, actually went up after the Stormy Daniels interview. And you might think that's crazy, but the same thing happened with Bill Clinton back when he was in the middle of his Monica Lewinsky mess. Do you know why? Because I think in general, Americans agree that sex lives should be private, and they actually feel bad for the president when people start going back through all of the allegations regarding his sex life in the past. And I am one of the few people out there who's not a hypocrite about this. I literally worked on Capitol Hill defending Bill Clinton while I was in college during his impeachment crisis. I was on Capitol Hill working there, okay? And I did not believe Bill Clinton should be impeached for that. I similarly do not believe that Donald Trump should be impeached for this. And unlike Bill Clinton, Donald Trump's actions did not actually take place while he was in office. We're talking about a sexual relationship which was consensual that happened 12 years ago. If Donald Trump just comes out, I don't know why he don't want to do this. Maybe he's afraid Melania will leave him, but then he can just get married again. Can you imagine the type of pull he could have picking a 4th wife when you're already the president? The amount of talent he would have to tap into would be unbelievable. Just come out and admit that you slept with some women while you were married. Nobody's going to care. Apologize to your wife. It would probably actually make Donald Trump more likable because he would actually apologize for something for once, and he could just move on. Who cares? This is not about actually defending the Constitution. It's about trying to embarrass Donald Trump. You may not like Donald Trump, but our Constitution has a great principle in place. Beat his ass at the polls. Show up and vote against him in 2018 if you're a Democrat and you don't like Donald Trump. Support all the candidates who are running on the Democratic ticket in 2018. And in 2020, here's my advice, breaking it down completely honestly. Find a white guy to run against Donald Trump. Because otherwise, I honestly believe the Democrats are going to play right into his hands, and they're going to play identity politics again. They're going to nominate a woman, or they're going to nominate a minority, and everybody out there who is fed up with political correctness in this country, the way that Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Ohio and Michigan all flipped in Big Ten country, Donald Trump's going to be able to play the same resume again. If I were trying to find somebody who would beat Donald Trump, I think Joe Biden could beat Donald Trump. I think Joe Biden running against Donald Trump could out-Trump Trump in all of those Midwestern cities. I think he could make a better case for all those people, the 8 million voters who flipped their vote from Barack Obama in 2012 to Donald Trump in 2016. I think Joe Biden could have a good race against him. I think, frankly, Donald Trump is going to be the nominee. You don't need to put Elizabeth Warren out there. Pocahontas is going to get murdered. She's going to get murdered worse than she did by tuberculosis back in the 1600s when she went overseas. I'm telling you right now, don't run Kamala Harris. She's going to get beat because it's going to play right into Donald Trump's wheelhouse. You beat Donald Trump by running somebody who can appeal to the same people that Donald Trump is already appealing to. Identity politics is not going to work. I'm just telling you. You're going to play into Donald Trump's hands again. Plus, it's going to be bad for the country because we're just going to have a perpetual cycle. It's all going to, the media is going to cover it. They're going to be talking about white privilege. They're going to be talking about gender privilege. They're going to be talking about racism and sexism, and all the people out there who are reasonable are going to sit back and say, you know what? I don't really have anything against Donald Trump. The economy keeps rolling like it is. Lowest unemployment rate, highest per capita income. Stock market's up like 500 points today because the Z in China bent the knee on tariffs already. Already bent the knee. Everybody was like, oh, China's going to fight so hard. There's no way they're going to allow this global trade battle to lose. And what happened? China already bent the knee. Already bent the knee on global trade. I don't claim to be an expert on global trade. That was a big win for Donald Trump already. Stock market is reacting today. Dow guy is thrilled. Dow guy only shows up. Let me get Dow guy an update. Right now, the stock market, as we speak, let me go ahead and pull it up. Got a lot to get to here in today's show, but let me go ahead and give this Dow guy an update. Dow guy is thrilled. The Dow is up over 400 points today. NASDAQ up 150. My Twitter stock up $2. Daddy's getting rich. My WWE stock that I told you guys to buy, almost at an all-time high as they announce over 2 million subscribers, as I predicted they were going to be doing yesterday. All right, Shea Patterson. Here's my deal with transfers. All right, here's my deal with transfers in college football. I think Shea Patterson and every other college athlete should get one free pass to transfer. I think without sitting out for a year, every single college athlete should get one opportunity to transfer. And so I would be in favor of Shea Patterson being able to get eligible. But that's not the rule right now. Okay? That's not the rule right now. In fact, Shea Patterson is trying to use Ole Miss's problems with the NCAA as an excuse to leap over to Jim Harbaugh and take advantage of the fact that Captain Comeback up there, Jim Harbaugh, has an awful quarterback situation and has pretty much every year since he got to Michigan. He's trying to rescue them because Shea Patterson's a really good quarterback. I understand Ole Miss's position that they did not lie and that he shouldn't be able to transfer and be immediately eligible. I think, frankly, that Shea Patterson is trying to use Ole Miss's troubles to try to end up in a better situation himself. I don't blame guys for trying to take advantage of opportunities like these. I personally don't think that you should be able, under the existing rules, to do what Shea Patterson is doing. Now, I do think, again, if the NCAA changes the rules, that everybody should be eligible to transfer after one time without having to sit out. One caveat. I might require you to have gone to the school that you signed with for 2 years, and also might require that you be academically eligible on track to graduate. Those would be the only caveats that I would potentially toss out there. I think that Shea Patterson is trying to play this for all it's worth. And frankly, I don't find Jim Harbaugh to be very likable, so it's hard for me to come down his side. All right. You want to talk about a disastrous decision? Facebook is a $500 billion company. They probably employ an entire team of PR people whose job all day long is to sit around and make sure that everybody actually does not look as ridiculous as Mark Zuckerberg looks testifying today about Facebook. I want you to look at this picture. Can you see this? I'm going to bring it close to you on Periscope. This is Mark Zuckerberg right now testifying to the Senate. This is the worst haircut since Dumb and Dumber, maybe even worse. Are you looking at this picture? Can you see this, Facebook? This is who you signed up with, Facebook. This is your fearless leader. This is an unacceptable haircut. This is the worst haircut I've ever seen a rich man have. It's even worse than the owner of the Oakland Raiders. This is a haircut that makes me think that your computer should be searched and maybe you should be imprisoned on the spot. I don't know what you're into, but I know it's some creepy ass stuff. And that's all I need to see. If you can make the decision to get your hair cut like that voluntarily, I have no idea what websites you're visiting on a regular basis. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel solid about it. And this is Mark Zuckerberg's first time to ever testify before Congress, which means of all the haircuts that he's gotten in his entire life, guy's like 35 years old. Every haircut that he's gotten in his entire life pales in comparison when it comes to importance to this haircut. And that's how he decides to roll in and testify to the Senate. I don't say this lightly. Every single public relations person at Facebook should be fired on the spot today. You should no longer have jobs because you allowed somehow Mark Zuckerberg to show up and try to testify honestly in front of the Senate. And I'll tell you this right now. If I were a senator, I'm sitting there. I don't believe a word you say. Your haircut is too bad for me to trust you. And that's coming from a guy who has fantastic hair. I understand bad haircuts happen. You can't have the worst haircut of your life before the biggest day of your life. Just can't happen. Got to fire him. Every single Facebook PR person has to be fired. By the way, I think I'm better at Facebook PR than probably every Facebook PR person already. You come to me, I'll give you some advice. I'll tell you that right now. All right, this is also unbelievable. I don't know how I missed this. I think it was because I was drunken in Las Vegas and it was the opening weekend of the NCAA tournament. But this is a story that I saw. Colin Kaepernick, did you guys know this? I blame all of you for not letting me know either. Colin Kaepernick has been showing up in T-shirts for depositions. Now, first of all, as a lawyer, I can tell you that it's a bad idea if you are treating the legal process seriously for you to show up in a T-shirt. It's a bad look, okay? If you are treating this seriously, this lawsuit seriously, then you should show up for your depositions in a suit and tie. If you're not willing to wear a suit and tie, you should at least wear a button down and slacks, okay? This is unbelievable. Colin Kaepernick, have you seen this picture? Colin Kaepernick showed up in front of the Houston Texans with a massive afro wearing a Kunta Kinte t-shirt. This is real. It's a photograph from TMZ. And then he also, on top of that, showed up for the Baltimore Ravens deposition in a Slave Patrol t-shirt. So in some way, Colin Kaepernick seems to be trying to argue that he is a slave. Yet, as one of you said on Twitter, so he's calling the NFL owners slave owners while suing them for not making him a slave. I don't get it. Colin Kaepernick is an idiot. His protest was idiotic. His entire decision-making and advisory team have been filled with imbeciles. Whoever is advising Colin Kaepernick does not have his best interests at heart. They are not trying to get him back into the NFL. More importantly, he's totally nonsensical in all arguments that he is making. I don't understand this at all. He shows up in a Kunta Kinte shirt. If you're not familiar with Roots, Kunta Kinte was the Alex Haley genealogy a descendant that they tracked back to in Roots, the Alex Haley novel, and a Slave Patrol t-shirt. This, of course, reinforces Colin Kaepernick's tweets earlier last year when he said that all police were modern-day slave catchers, and when he showed up wearing pig socks. All right? This is completely illogical and insanely dumb, and there's no way to actually justify his thought process here. This is so incredibly dumb. If your goal is to get a job, guess who is going to be hiring you? The people that you are suing and trying to show up while wearing these t-shirts. He's not trying to get a job, and the people advising him are not trying to get him a job. They are just trying to make him the wokest athlete of all time. Blaine Gabbert, as one of you just said, beat him out for a job. He's 3-19, I believe, in his last 22 starts. He is done. Maybe ESPN can hire him and put him on their new morning show. It couldn't be any worse when it comes to the ratings. All right. Here is a couple of other details that are out. My friends at Sportsbook Review, they have released the odds for who is going to be the number one overall pick. And these are a little bit intriguing. Who's going to be the number one pick overall is 100% interesting. NFL draft odds to go number one. Sam Darnold is minus 250. Sam Darnold is a prohibitive favorite to end up the overall number one pick in the NFL draft. Josh Allen is plus 190. This is from my friends at sportsbookreview.com. And Saquon Barkley at 6-1. Josh Rosen at 10-1. Baker Mayfield at 20-1. Uh-oh. Gonna have to kill a man. Happened to look up and saw a man who sucks. Clay Kyle doesn't miss too often. You, my friend, are dead. So, if you are paying attention to this, 2 weeks away, it appears that Sam Darnold is the prohibitive favorite to be the number one overall pick. That would explain why Jimmy Haslam was sitting with him in L.A. with his parents. Josh Rosen is down to 10-1. Baker Mayfield at 20-1. Those are the five most likely number one overall picks. I don't know if Josh Rosen is falling or just the Cleveland Browns have decided that he's not a good fit for them. I think Josh Rosen is the most ready of all the quarterbacks that are out there. I think Josh Rosen is the most quarterback ready in year one. Now, I'm not good enough to project how Josh Rosen pans out in the years ahead, but I am ready to tell you that having watched all these guys play their big games over the last several years, I think Josh Rosen is the most pro-style quarterback ready to play on day one. I think Sam Darnold could end up being the modern-day Andrew Luck, except with the shoulder that works. I think that best-case scenario, Baker Mayfield could become Russell Wilson-like. I think that Josh Rosen, probably a Matt Ryan-like player, if I were trying to break down exactly how they all project. That would be, kind of my high-level projections for what they are looking for. All right? That is the latest on those. Finally, we have a young hero. We have a young hero who wore this shirt, and I saw this shirt, and I thought, my God, this is an amazing shirt. This is a fantastic headline if you haven't seen it already. Mom apologizes after accidentally sending son to elementary school in obscene shirt. All right, are you ready? This is a real picture. This is a real story. Can you see this kid's shirt, Periscope? That looks like the McDonald's Golden Arches, but when I zoom in, oh, you know what? It may not be the McDonald's Golden Arches. No, I'm sorry. There you go, Facebook. It's actually a stripper in heels shoving her pussy towards you and me and everybody else. I'm loving it. It's a stripper in heels with a bare pussy outline in the same color as the Golden Arches. The Golden Triangle, boys and girls, meets the Golden Arches. This kid wore the shirt to school. His mom went on Facebook, said she had no idea. She had a big bin of free shirts that she had been given. Next thing you know, her horny-ass kid goes through them. I'm not buying in, having been a 12-year-old boy, I'm not buying into the fact that that 12-year-old boy didn't know exactly what he was doing when he wore the naked stripper outline of I'm loving it. I have got to tell you, this was a fantastic move by the kid. He's probably become a legend at school. Mom had to apologize for letting him go out the front door. Dad probably would have noticed. Not a lot of times when a stripper in heels shoving her pussy towards you that dad thinks, oh, that's the Golden Arches. That's not a stripper in heels shoving her pussy towards you. But it ended up getting out. I'm generally, somebody says kid needs a trophy. I'm generally opposed to participation trophies. I do believe that this kid deserves a participation trophy indeed. Again, go sign up for a mortgage, thehomeloanexpert.com. You'll be glad that you did. You can get hooked up with the best possible rates. And if you do it this month, you get a trip out to Las Vegas, hotel rooms on me and on Outkick. Tell them that Outkick and Clay Travis sent you. And Go to Sportsbook Review to get the best possible numbers for gambling when it comes to the NHL playoffs, which begin tomorrow and begin here in Nashville, where the Preds are the favorite on Thursday. Love all of you guys. Share the show. Thanks for all the support of Outkick. I'll be back tomorrow, 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern. Loaded show for you coming tomorrow. Go download the podcast and listen to the radio show if you haven't already. I am Clay Travis, and this has been Outkick the show. Don't be a pussy. D-back, boys and girls. I'll see y'all tomorrow.